Have you ever seen a group of people sense a threat? Something spreads through them like a shiver. The group is more intuitive than the individual, if less decisive. When I started at the Daily Whales, I assumed they'd have the internet, which had arrived when I was at university. But when I asked how to log on, they looked frightened and said if I wanted to know anything, there was the Cuttings library. The office reeked of smoke. The whole room was a stinking mist, thick with beery sexism you wouldn't believe now. I just started, so they called me Newsbird. The computers were weird things on metal stalks like something out of Flash Gordon, green flickering screens and strings of keyboard commands you had to learn because there was no mouse. The editor was a small, terrifying man everyone called Giant Jim, who seemed turbulent with internal violence. The news editor, my boss, known as Tiny Andy, lived on the verge of rage. They ruled the great faggy barn of a newsroom. Lines of sub-editors, reporters, feature writers, specialists, section editors, their teams, and the whole empire of the sports pages. And they were right to be scared of the internet. It swept them all away. Today, the building site is a hotel and apartment complex. What remains of the paper now comes out of a structure built on what used to be the car park. The interesting thing was how the internet did for them. It fed off something that already existed in those newsrooms, something that began to rule them just as I started, and which has now almost wrecked the world. Newsbird. Conference. We gathered in Giant Jim's office. Tiny Andy gave the orders. The County Echo, Fishguard's finest, ran a piece about 2 wild boar that escaped from a lorry. They were coming from Ireland on their way to a menu. We've had 20 calls this morning from readers wanting to know if they've been caught, if they're okay, if they're dangerous. Some lunatic has offered to buy them and give them sanctuary. It's on the wires, the London papers are after it. My mate on the Mirror says the train from Paddington is full of hacks. Far as I'm concerned, these pigs are on the run in Wales. We're the national newspaper of Wales, this is our story. The splash is, Daily Wales scoops the world. Pictures of the pigs, a full interview, then a photo of them being handed over to this nutter, destined to spend the rest of their lives in clover. Got it? Bigger than Chernobyl. Nick, you're on it. Newsbird, you're on it. Marcus is your snapper. Dangerous Dave will drive. What are we going to call them? TRWH and TRWH, I said. What? From the Mabinogion. Wild boar that laid waste to Ireland. They swam over and King Arthur chased them through Wales until they were killed. The biggest, the TRWH, ran into the sea off Cornwall. Not just a pretty face. Right, Nick the Quick, you're King Arthur. Newsbird, you can be Guinevere. Martin, get the TRWH myth ready for the last edition today. Ancient myth comes alive as wild boar ravage Wales. Newsbird, keep phoning in, we want the whole chase. Go get him. Bring home the bacon. Or don't come back, said Giant Jim. The hunt begins. TRWH and TRWH had been seen on Preseli Mountain. Dangerous Dave kept the car above 100 on the M4. Nick the Quick ate Watsits and smoked. Marcus fell asleep on his camera bag. World Media joins Welsh boar hunt was the first headline I phoned in. The farmer who last saw them was pinned to his front door by cameras. His yard was full of TV trucks. One of the tabloids hired a helicopter. There were French and Japanese reporters interviewing his kids and neighbors. I'd never seen a full media storm before. It was insane. And then it got weird. The boars were spotted at Whitland, then Black Mountain. We got close enough for Marcus to snap a photo. Someone from the Western Mail nearly got a loop over one, but it charged him. The RSPCA fired tranquilizer darts, but they bounced off. Very thick-skinned, those pigs. Bulletproof boars, the Sun called them. The tabloids were now rabid. One reporter bought pigs' trotters from a butcher and used them to fake tracks for her rivals. Everyone carried bags of nuts to lure the quarry, as if wild boars might suddenly behave like Labradors. That night in a B&B I was doubting my career. Helicopters. Satellite trucks. The Iranians and Iraqis are gassing each other. Why aren't they covering that? Not news. 500 people you've never heard of isn't news. One you have is. But, wild boar? Animal stories. Birds with their knockers out. Drunken celebs. That's money. It's all about the reptile brain. You're selling a little hit of dopamine. Into myth. Later, in a cold bed, I read up on the TRW, Preseli, Whitland, Black Mountain. It hit me. I reread it, told my reflection I wasn't mad, then woke Nick. Are you telling me these pigs are following the same route as the boars in the myth? No, the Mabinogion is telling you. Coincidence? 3 in a row? Definitely, he said. But he still woke Marcus and Dave. We headed for Amon Valley, the next place in the myth. At dawn, amid sodden bracken and mist, Two black shapes emerged from the trees. There was something terrifying about them, like a dark weight from another time. Nick tried to rope one. It charged him and Dave. There was a wild struggle. Marcus got great shots of the boar dragging them uphill. The other boar returned to help. Both fled. One still trailed the catching pole. I phoned in my best piece yet, Arthur and Knight in Boar Battle, world exclusive by Guinevere. Daily Wales circulation soared. They went on to LONY Fan 4, the eeriest place in Wales. Cliff Lake Falcon Crows. Stillness of the last ice age. This time the pole-dragging boar charged and slashed Dave's calf. They're evil. It tried to kill me. Tiny Andy was thrilled. Perfect. Plucky heroes turned psychotic killers. Now Wales was divided. TRWCH fans wanted freedom. TRWCH haters wanted them with applesauce. Nick and I kept quiet about the myth. It was our edge. The other papers thought I had a special connection. Guinevere the Boar Whisperer was born. I did radio interviews, dodged cameras. The Mail offered money to defect. I didn't. The Showdown. It came near Talgarth, Istrad YW and the myth. A wood. A ring of reporters. Mick. Marcus. 2 RSPCA men with darts. The boars. We caught one. Tiny Andy had hired 2 rugby lads from Brecon to secure the pigs, now legally bought from their Irish owners. TRWCH escaped. TRWIH was slung in a Land Rover. Nick filed his exclusive interview. TRWH claimed revenge on Arthur's descendants and deemed only Guinevere and Sir Nick worthy of capturing him. The nutter arrived with a horse box. Marcus got a photo of TRWH, asleep in straw, bound for sanctuary. Final flight. The Sun ran a piece. Army hunt killer boar with dangerous Dave's leg injury blown up. The Mail Express Times called for TRWCH's death. The Independent pushed animal rights. The Guardian waffled. Only Daily Wales stayed loyal. They were our mascots. TRWH as fierce as a Welsh scrum, TRWH as elusive as our fly half. Vigilantes took to the hills. It's madness, I said. We've created anger, fear and righteous indignation, said Nick. That's step 1 to power. Bonuses, promotion, prizes next. You wait. You should do TV. You could become an MP. The end. The final call came from the Gwent levels. The myth said TRWCH's last stand was at Elwen Lewin, near Caldecott. There he was, plunging through mud, racing across tidal flats. Behind him came dogs, rifles, shotguns, photographers, journalists, a baying mob. Shots and darts missed. Photos show TRWCH disappearing into the sea. No one saw him go under. I was glad his end was unknown. Back at the office, Nick filed his drama piece. I submitted my long-form backgrounder, showing the boar's path matched the Mabinogian tale. Tiny Andy read it. Okay Gwynny, I'll run it. You've put too much in and it's too late to replace, but we'll bury it. Too complicated. We're saying we witnessed a rerun of an ancient myth? Save it for universities. People want death and disaster. And that's what we gave them, until they lost hope in history, replaced feeling with clicking, truth with dopamine, and woke to find death and disaster all around.